8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
3 months later. It also supported 3 Starlink missions this year, with the most recent being our 10th Starlink mission in August. We will also be attempting to recover the first stage on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. There is a shot of it right there in the Atlantic. Merlin vacuum engine. We also refer to the Merlin vacuum engine as MVAC engine for short. Once the first and second stages separate, about 2.5 minutes into the mission, the MVAC engine will ignite and carry the Starlink satellites into a circular orbit around the Earth. As for propellant, Falcon 9 has been loading propellant since the T-minus 35-minute mark. Our vehicle is a bipropellant vehicle, which means that we use 2 types until the vehicle is outside of the Earth's atmosphere, at which point the fairing will separate to expose the satellites to space. It's going to be the 3rd flight for both of the fairing halves today. We will be attempting to recover them today using our recovery ships, Miss Tree and Miss Chief. There they are on screen right now. About 2 minutes before they're set to land, the team will make a go, no-go call to recover them, depending on the weather and the sea states. Speaking of weather, we have nothing but blue skies on the East Coast. The vehicle and satellite and range are taken over the launch countdown. The first and second stage are also beginning to pressurize for launch.
LD, go for launch.
And there's the launch director giving the final go for launch at T-minus 30 seconds and counting. All systems are go for launch. Let's listen in to terminal count and watch as Falcon 9 takes our 60 Starlink satellites into orbit.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressures are nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our Starlink payload to its targeted drop-off orbit. Moments ago, we've begun to throttle down our engines on the first stage in preparation for Max Q. Max Q is where the vehicle will experience the highest amount of aerodynamic pressure.
Max Q.
And we've just passed Max Q. In a couple of minutes, we'll have 3 events happening back-to-back. First is main engine cutoff, also known as MECO. This is where all 9 Merlin engines on the first stage will shut down to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation. Stage separation is where the first and second stage will separate from one another, with the first stage making its way back towards Earth for landing, while the second stage continues its journey with the third event, which is Second Engine Start 1, also known as SES-1. This is where the single engine on the second stage, our Merlin vacuum engine, lights up and will continue to propel the second stage along with the Starlink satellites to orbit. We're about 25 seconds away from main engine cutoff. Got some really cool footage of Falcon 9 right now.
Stage separation confirmed.
All right, we had successful main engine cutoff, stage separation, and our second stage engine is now up on power on the right-hand side of the screen. Again, on the left-hand side of the screen is our first stage. It's going to make its way back to Earth to attempt landing for the 6th time on our drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. Next event coming up is fairing deploy. It should happen just a few seconds from now.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And off goes those fairing halves, and now exposing the 60 Starlink satellites to space. As a reminder, we will be attempting to recover the fairing halves today using our recovery ships Miss Tree and Miss Chief. We'll make the call about 2 minutes before they land, depending on the weather and the sea states. We're just over T plus 4 minutes to flight, and as the second
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
3 Merlin engines have relit and are now slowing the first stage down before they hit the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. Have a few more seconds left on this burn.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
All right, the second burn will be happening about 90 seconds from now. Everything's looking great on our second stage. The view is of the Merlin vacuum engine and its thrust cone. That engine can produce over 220,000 pounds of thrust in a vacuum.
Terminal guidance.
There's a view of our
Stage
drone
1
ship.
landing leg deploy.
And right down the middle, Falcon 9 has landed. This particular booster has landed for the 6th time. This marks our 62nd successful recovery of a Falcon 9 first stage, and the 32nd time we've landed on this particular drone ship. Of course, I still love you. Great way to start off a Sunday. So now for the second stage, we're waiting for second engine cutoff before entering a coast phase.
Eco confirmed.
Expected loss of signal, Cape.
And we did see that we had second engine cutoff. Waiting for call outs of good
Nominal
orbit.
insertion.
And we did get